deeper cancer, waits for 6 hours, he's dead before he gets infected. I'm not sure what did you do now. Is your C5 24/7? This is one question. And also, do your patients go to emergency room or do they come directly to the unit? And also, do you really reserve inpatient beds for such patients? Because that becomes an issue when the patient comes in and he needs admission and there is no bed available. I'm not sure how did you overcome these obstacles.
Doctor, that is a very valid question. So there are 3 questions that you were asking. Number 1, what do we do when there is an emergency for the patient? Where do we bring our patient? That C5 short stay unit is designed as 24/7, but it operates as an outpatient basis. Nurses are already on duty like for 8 hours or 12 hours. For now, because of constraints of nurses, we really have a shortage in manpower. Would you believe that out of 4, they become 2, and these 2 valuable nurses, Jomar and Lani, are working 7 days a week. They have off duties, of course, alternating. So doctor, the plan is, if a patient comes 3 a.m. in the morning, there will be an on-call nurse for that unit. It serves. That is why it's geographically beside our hematology ward in C5, because there will be a standby 1 bed also reserved for that in case. For example, like now, we have fresh transplants. We have day 4, day 5 engrafting. So we are already reserving a bed. When our patients are already off the engraftment period, we give away that bed. But if we have a patient around the period, doctor, actually the admission only happens until basically our patients are being admitted. There are few as early as day 3, day 4, highly sensitive to melphalan. But most of them, they got admitted like day 8, day 9, they have already the full effect. No more honeymoon period with melphalan. Now, your issue with ER. It seems that we have the same problem with our emergency room. Unfortunately, ER, they should also be well kept or well oriented to handle an oncology, hematology, what more for a post-transplant case. So what do we do with our patients? So as a coordinator, they have our mobile numbers. When our patient, let's say worst to worst scenario, emergency situation, they cannot go up to C5. When you are in ER, call us, insist you are a transplant patient, call for these consultants. Consultants, no more fellow, no more assistant. Because those doctors, like, I will put out Dr. Han. Dr. Han is so busy with other stuff. Dr. Paniotis and Dr. Apostolidis, they are like 24/7 when it comes to transplant. Anytime when there is a patient in ER, they will be called, and of course, they will tap the proper on-call to go down in PC. But that is really a challenge, doctor. Did I answer all your questions?
Yes.
Ang ganda ng mic ni Ate Ann.
Well, thank you. Just a comment actually about the role of nurses in stem cell transplant and research. Being both actually a transplanter and a researcher, I would say. Well, we see the stem cell transplant as semi-elective procedure. That is, it's a procedure. It's a therapeutic modality that you have to perform to rescue a patient life. However, it's not something that can be done over a day or night. So it has to be planned. Now, when you have the luxury to plan it, then you have to plan it well to offer it to the patient. So that means absolutely you need to optimize your services and nursing skills and the dedicated staff, because it's so subspecialized, so delicate procedure that when you do it well, it will reflect on the outcome. And I think from this point of view, we dedicated this day of nurses and to exchange knowledge, and I see excellent model of exchanging experiences between the hospitals and the transplant centers in Saudi Arabia at the nursing level, which is an essential component of the system of the stem cell transplant. So I see the success of the model at King Fahd Specialist Hospital is worth replicating and listening to, and I congratulate you on this. On the other side, on the research, well, the way I see it, now research is dependent on research methodology. So it's a methodology that you have to, again, post it and plan it and then conduct it. Now, from my experience in research and in research administration, I see the nurse's role as the closest to conducting, I would say, optimally the research methodology than even physicians. Physicians used to shortcut and just focused on the outcome or in the goal or the target, rather than conducting a method and a procedure, which is essential in the research. So in research, we don't go on the outcome. Yes, I want to, for example, this procedure to be successful, but you cannot do it if you don't, and this will not be counted if you don't go on the methodology. Now, who does this best in the healthcare system? It's the nurses. And we would love to hire nurses in the research centers, actually. Because from our experience,
Commercialing doctor,
I see it successful. Thank you.
My question is also for Maureen. Did you do any work with home health care? Sorry. Yeah, did you have to have any such conversations with home health care and develop any links with home health care?
Home health care?
Yeah, before you started your outpatient.
Okay, ma'am, for our transplant patients, our home health care, they are actively involved if there is a need for the patient to be followed up at home. But our patients are actively coming still to our hospital, so at this point of time, we don't involve them yet. But for our other patients, post-transplants, let's say, that would need a very close monitoring, then we will involve them. But for these sets of patients, they are not yet involved.
Okay, thank you. In the UK, we had outpatient transplants, and we did a lot of work with home health care. They provided a lot of supportive therapies to avoid the patients coming in. That's why I just asked that question.
That's very true, ma'am. Why not? It's a good suggestion. Unfortunately, our home health care is already overwhelmed with the regular oncology patients or palliative patients that are requiring care. Really, that will be too much on their plate if we will throw this. But it's a good suggestion. We can advise that in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I have two questions. First, a question for Mr. Samer regarding your presentation and the data and the statistic made on transplant in this organization. It was the highest number, it was in 2015, and then it drops in 2016, 17. Is there any factor that causes drops?
And I remember the numbers in 2015 was more than 50 cases, almost 60 cases, and 2015 drops to 50 cases. So it's like a little drop. There's no reason, but it's a flow of patients. We do transplant every candidate for that. We don't hold patients because of any reason. 2017, we are done until now, I remember 46 cases with 4 months, 5 months. We expect to go more than 70. But there is no specific reason why this drop.
Maybe it's more open center, transplant centers.
Maybe, yeah. But seeing 2017 now, we are also increasing the number, so maybe it's not. But it is the number of patients referred. Like now, we are doing the sickle cell disease and non-malignant hematology. Maybe this is increasing the numbers. But there is no specific reason for this.
Thank you. My question, second question to Ms. Ali. Do you have a drop-in clinic in your, so post-transplant? Do you have drop-in-clinic patient he can continue?
We don't have a label of drop-in clinic, but if you are considering accepting them as they come in because of the necessity, our BMT clinic is open for them. I will label it for BMT patients only. We don't accept our regular hematology patients, but when it comes to BMT patients, even though they are not booked, they come in, they call us, and I have this problem so and so. Depending on the severity and the acuity of the concern, if the patient can still wait on the, because there's a booking, so the doctor has to prioritize the booked patient. If they can wait, they will be accepted. But if it is really that urgent, we advise them proceed to ER and we will send the doctor there.
Thank you. Just to more clarify, regarding that you mentioned treatment area.
Yes.
It's the same location that receive the chemotherapy, or they have
It's a separate one.
a separate one just for auto-transplant?
Auto-transplant, post-allo-transplant, transplant per se, C5 Short Stay is the place to stay. Our treatment area, the one hematology BMT treatment area, is for the pre-BMT and for the chemotherapy patients being handled, being endorsed by the hematology team.
For the orthodox patient, you have the experience outside of the hospital as outpatient. So, do you have a dedicated nurse or like a hotline for those? Because usually the patient is inpatient and you are taking care because the nurses are there. But when they are at home, and this is after hours, after 5 p.m. So, are they advised to come to the ER, or maybe they have simple questions or concern because the family, even if they are educated, they may not be able to take care of the patient for simple issues. And they have a simple question can be answered over the phone. So do you have a dedicated nurse or hotline for them?
Okay, ma'am, if you have heard what I mentioned, in a way it's a joke, but in a way it is true. Me, myself, as a coordinator, is all-around purpose. As Dr. Oscar is saying, you can be a research, you can be a porter, you can be a coordinator, and the dedicated hotline is the coordinator assigned to the patient. So when you talk about multiple myeloma patient, I'm the girl to call to. Weekend, night, they will send messages, WhatsApp technically. So if it is more than what I can do as of this now, go to ER and I will communicate with the consultant. Then the consultant will now tap. That is the ideal, to have a dedicated nurse or a hotline even. But currently, because of constraints with the budget. So who is the dedicated coordinator? Like if it is a lymphoma case, my colleague Jennifer will be the one to answer all these calls, even as early as 5 a.m. Unfortunately, this is not only transplant, but we are all around regular and transplant cases. Unfortunately, yes. When I go on leave, then somebody has to cover for me. We are 3 only for the population of Eastern Province. So, yes, it is. Thank you for the question.
So, you have a lymphoma nurse, myeloma nurse, leukemia nurse,
Yes.
or coordinator?
Coordinator, yes.
And they work directly with the patient?
Yes. So, for example, I'm a multiple myeloma nurse. Once the patient gets into the clinic, I should know that there is a new case. Because as early as that patient came in, I should start preparing him for transplant. Isn't it? What is your number 1 concern for a multiple myeloma patient when going for transplant? Your dental clearance. Isn't it? Once your patient receives your favorite Zometa, no more extraction of teeth. So the minute they get into the hospital, I'm reminding my doctors, please get your clearances first before giving anything. Because when you throw the patient to me, after 4 cycles of chemotherapy, I will have all the trouble. I cannot extract the tooth, although it's moving already. Then what we will do? We will be facing on that dilemma.
Well, very silent.
Any more questions? Any more questions to the speakers?
May tanong ako sa ano, sa nasagot ko.
Thank you very much, Jen, for coffee break. Thank you.